Hey New City, and welcome back to the $5 Gift Club, where we believe that through small amounts you can have a huge impact. This month was really special as we were able to travel to Beaufort, North Carolina and sit down with Brian Recker, who is the campus pastor of One Harbor. Through his church's recovery efforts after Hurricane Florence, he was able to connect us with a guy named Jim who has an incredible story of how God has showed up despite the hurricane. We cannot wait to show you how your generosity made an impact this month. So I'm sitting here with my new friend Brian. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about who you are, what your church has been doing, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so I'm Brian. I lead One Harbor Church here in Beaufort, along with my wife Emily. Coming back from the storm, our house did really well. Unfortunately, our church building did not. The roof leaked really bad, and we've had to gut the entire back of the church, all of our kids' rooms, as well as the bathrooms, which has basically put our whole church into a nomadic season. We're going to be meeting in another church's facility for a while. But despite that, I have never really been more encouraged about where our church is at. People came back into town hitting the ground running. We banded together, and people who even lost a lot themselves still came out to volunteer to help others. And we've been able to get into 53 homes in the local area to just help people with tarping roofs, clearing trees and debris, gutting houses and getting mold and wet stuff out of houses, and helping people sort of get back to normal, which has just opened up all kinds of crazy opportunities in the community.
Yeah, and you mentioned kind of the stories and how you've been able to get into the community and really build relationships and love on people. So why don't you tell us about Jim? Because this was such a cool story, but why don't you tell us a little bit about what's happening there?
Yeah, Jim is a guy right in the local area that we didn't have a relationship with before. He's an older man. I believe he's close to 80, and even though he used to do construction work in his younger years, he was currently unable to work on his home, and he was pretty lonely, and we were able to come alongside him and help him with his house, tell him that God loves him, and he experienced community and love. And even though his house still has some work to do, he came to church last Sunday and was just excited about diving into the community, making new friends, and feeling like he's a part of something as well.
So we're sitting here in Beaufort, North Carolina. I've never been to Beaufort, North Carolina, but we're sitting here at my new friend Jim's house. We're sitting here with Jim to hear a little bit about his story. So Jim, why don't you tell us a little bit about how the hurricane impacted your home and what life has been like since the hurricane?
Well, the impact on my home was mostly, thank goodness, wind. We didn't have a lot of flood, but the roof leaked severely. We had, even after when I got back, the water was dripping out of the light fixtures on the ceiling. And of course, you get in and I was quite depressed, as my daughters will tell you, the first couple of days. And the experience I had with One Harbor with their tremendous crews that came out, helped me cover the bare roof, hopefully keep it from doing any more damage than we have now. But we just got an estimate that probably was $40,000 to $45,000 worth of damage in the house.
Man, so what did that mean to you when you saw the team from One Harbor?
That was the most enjoyable part about the hurricane. It renewed my faith. It was the most moving experience for me, and it definitely strengthened and renewed my faith in Jesus.
That's amazing. So we came from Raleigh, North Carolina to see what was happening during hurricane cleanup, to see how churches were getting involved. And so we didn't know Brian before today. We had got connected with him from a mutual friend. And as we began talking to Brian and seeing what One Harbor was doing, he kept going back to your story and how he was encouraged at you showed up to church on Sunday after they cleaned up your house. And just
absolutely.
Just telling us what kind of guy you were, and even in a short conversation, how friendly you were. And so we wanted to come today to hear your story, hear everything that One Harbor has done, how God has renewed your faith. But most importantly, we have something at New City Church called the $5 Gift Club. And we ask everybody at New City to give an additional $5 on top of their monthly offering. And as we were talking to Brian, Brian said Jim would be the perfect recipient. And so we did want to hear your story, but more than that, I have a check for you for $786 just to help with your cleanup efforts. And man, that is for you, because Brian was the one that shared your story, and we knew that it had to go to you.
I don't know what to say.
Well, I just wanted to say, Jim, that that check is, again, it's not just a reminder that One Harbor loves you or that New City Church loves you. It's a reminder that God loves you and that He's got something for you. It's not even from One Harbor, Jim. It's from a church that you've never even heard of that just wanted to bless you. Like, how cool is that?
That is very, very moving. Let's put it that way.
Well,
I can't. It's hard for me to express really what happened this week. It's made a big change in me.
yeah.
But I felt closer to God than I've ever felt in my life.
Isn't it amazing how, in the wake of
Amazing.
stuff that actually is the last thing you ever want to have happen, like a hurricane, like your house getting all kinds of damage, in the wake of that, God shows up like He's never shown up before.
It's like you said Sunday, it's slow,
Yeah.
but He's there. And I will be more active because I have not been strongly active in a church in years.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jim. Thank you for sitting down with us.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.